Hello and welcome to another episode of B2B e-commerce integrated. My name is Arno. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Sana Commerce. And for today's show, I think we have a lot of nice lessons to be shared, because in the call we have Per Bay. He's from Sweden and he's working at Cosmo Consult. And we are working with Cosmo Consult already for a long time. They are a Sana partner. And it's actually the first partner we have in the show. To list down a couple of the learnings he will share, he has seen so many ERP implementations back from the Microsoft Navision days towards NAV, towards Microsoft Business Central. I think hundreds or thousands of implementations he has seen. And as a technical fellow, he has also seen the challenges that you can have with when connecting other systems like e-commerce systems towards it. So what can we learn from him is all around the topic of ERPs. How can you maintain your data in a good way? What is important there, but also how to choose your landscape wisely. What systems to take as an IT leader? And do you need to join a platform like Microsoft or SAP, or working with self-made solutions and so on? And B2B e-commerce, how comes that into play? So he will share a lot of his expertise there. And besides of that, also, not only from a technical fellow specialism he has, he also looks at commercially how companies can succeed with B2B e-commerce or why they should invest in it. And that will also be shared in this show today. So stay tuned and listen to Per in our call today. I'm super excited. Today we have with me Per Bay from Cosmo Consult. And Per and I go, I think, way back. We are working with each other already for a long time. And actually, he's the first partner in the show, which I'm ERP partner, which I'm really excited about. He has his background in Microsoft Dynamics, NAV, and Business Central since 1997. So that's a lot of experience. He built over his personal brands over the years on LinkedIn. And as I mentioned, he's currently working at Cosmo Consult. So welcome, Per. Happy to have you in this show.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great honor to be here.
Cool. So you're calling in from Sweden, right? Are you in Sweden at the moment?
Yes, I'm living in the north part of Sweden in Umeå. And right today it's minus 14 degrees and a lot of snow outside.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is here. Slowly the spring is starting. So we definitely do not have minus 14 at the moment here in Rotterdam. But maybe you are one of these partners, maybe furthest north in on the world map, let's say it like that. But really cool. Calling in from Sweden and part of Cosmo Consult. So let's start with your background, Per. So what's your background and story with ERP, Cosmo Consult, or IT in general?
Yeah, I think I started already like a small guy and giving my mother gray hair because I disassembling all stuff at our home, our alarm clocks, radios, and everything. I've been very curious about how things works, and I think I built my whole career about that. And as you mentioned, I've been working in the ERP industry now for 26 years. This is more than half my life, and I think the great things to working as a consultant and helping customer in this industry is actually to see what benefits you have from ERP system, other system, how you can use them and help customer to take the advantage of this technology.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think over the years you must have seen hundreds or maybe even thousands of projects, right? So
yeah, of course. And if we go back a little bit in time, in 97 when I started this industry, it was before customer have internet. We went out to the customers, sitting in the server room, installing the ERP system on floppy disks. And it's been an amazing journey during these 25 years to see what's happening and the latest innovation with SaaS delivery of ERP systems and integration and the whole Power Platform from Microsoft. And in these days is much talking about open chat and artificial IA, talking about AI.
Yeah, AI. Yes. No, definitely. Yeah, I remember the days as well that you needed to install Office or an operating system or indeed an ERP system still with floppy disks. You were busy for a day, and and if we now see 25 years or 26 years later, that's just with one click you have an instance of Business Central or a new subscription on Office, and you can use it right away. Right? So that is and that's a big step. All right. Hey, and you also start building your let's say personal brand or sharing ERP information to others. So can you explain a little bit more about that or how did that started?
Well, as a consultant, I learned a lot of meeting all these hundreds customers during this year, and I want to be advisor. And I think a big way to explain to many customers is to actually, I started with a blog, writing things about Dynamics ERP systems, and I get a lot of great feedbacks. And then I start during the pandemic to build up a YouTube channel. During this YouTube channel with all its video, it gave me a lot of feedbacks from customer. And I want to show customer what they can do with modern technology. Because sometimes we meet new customer, they don't know the latest technology. They know about the existing ERP system, the existing processes. And for example, last week it spoke with a customer talking about reports. But have you seen Power BI? Have you seen you can have graphical charts? And they haven't. So you need to inspire people what you can do with the modern technology.
Yeah, no, I think it sounds so easy and so simple, but we have to say with Sana in that sense that we are continuously helping our customers, sharing the things also that we already have for years in the product, but to get the maximum out of the tool or to learn them about the new stuff is let's say it's a never-ending journey. And we are understanding this more and more actually by just simply talking to customers and they want to fix something or try something, and of course we have everything in place in the product with help articles or interactive things that can help customers further. But sometimes they just need also a little bit this discussion and inspiration, and a lot of problems can still be solved. Let's say, hey, it's already in the product or there is already a solution for it. You just need to see it, right? You didn't know that it was there.
And every kind of system you have is actually only a tool. And the benefits come when you use it in the right way.
Correct.
I have an example. If you work as a carpenter and you have your nail and hammer. Yeah. And of course, you're very skilled with your nail and hammer. But if you want to work an efficient way and do it better, you invest in, for example, a nail gun. And then you can work very efficient. But of course, you need to invest in a new system. It can be very expensive, and you need to learn this new tool. And when you understand how you can use it, then you get the benefits. And today you also have the possibility as a private person rent this solution as well. And I see it similar with the SaaS service that today a very small customer can have this big advantage with the system because they don't need to invest so much in buying an expensive solution. They can rent it as a SaaS service. Even if it's an ERP system or e-commerce platform, we see that get a lot of functionality for a very small amount.
No, definitely. Yeah, you can start small nowadays. So, hey, and talking about ERPs in relation to e-commerce, so what has been, from your perspective, the biggest, let's say, change that you have seen with ERPs in combination with e-commerce? So, is there anything you want to share there?
Yeah, back in the days, you remember the dot-com boom around in late 90s, 2000. Every customer should have a home page and a lot of online service. And the e-commerce actually was born around this time. And we had a lot of customers that invested in the e-commerce. Okay, there were not so many pre-built e-commerce solution back then. Many customers build their own platform based on the LAMP, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP solution. And mostly what they didn't think about, it was to integrate it with the ERP system. The ERP system back then was a finance system for them. So they had purchase, they have a warehouse, one system, and they have another e-commerce system that sell the products online. Today, we see it's more important to integrate the ERP system together with the e-commerce platform, because you have a logistics chain. Maybe you make delivery directly from your vendor to the end customer. You need to have the whole supply chain integrated, and that is the core part of ERP system, to actually track the demands for the sales and the purchase in the purchase department, of course. If you don't see that you have a data-driven company where all systems talks with each other, then you never will get a holistic overview of your supply chain. If you have one sales system in the e-platform, and you have, for example, sales guy working in the ERP system that have the sales order, and you have another system for purchase, then you don't never will get the insights in your business.
No, correct. And I think that is also, of course, that is one of the reasons why Sana started back in the days. And I think also that was one of the reasons why we started working together, because we teamed up, right, with especially in the early days where you were part of a reseller before Cosmo, another ERP reseller or our service integrator. We were doing our first attempts with B2B e-commerce with Sana, and I clearly remember a trip to Sweden where we just went to a couple of let's say mutual customers or potential customers and demoed it. It was mostly in back in the days still also on fashion focus. So we had a couple of customers that were B2B, but really in the fashion industry. They needed particular things like pre-ordering or and nice looking variant capabilities that you can order these different variants on a large scale. Different size and color and our style tables and all that stuff. And we were automating that, right? That was, I think, in the early days of B2B e-commerce also in Sweden. So because that is actually also what you mostly do, I think, with Cosmo, right? You help companies automate, and I think with the help of technology. So I think Business Central is what you are focused on and mostly implementing also with Cosmo Per. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. We have wholesalers and manufacturing companies at the main market, but they also had the need to extend their automation from purchase to sales. And I remember we have a customer actually in the retail industry that have a lot of stores around Sweden. And when they went into the e-commerce, they actually have a separate system for that. But for the logistic part, they took stocks from the main warehouse and put it in a separate warehouse, just to don't interfere with the supply to the stores. If you don't combine the system has this omni-channel strategy, you will have multiple processes in your company to delivering different channels for example, for the e-commerce and the stores. But that is what we try to help customer with, to have omni-channel strategy, supply chains that work in multiple ways. So, for example, for a manufacturer, they can have spare parts.
Yeah.
They can have a product that are some way configured. So they need to assemble the products before it is delivered to the customer, or it can be also some customer made products that are drawings behind and so things like that. So different customers have different processes to actually delivering the products, but we see with customer portal or B2B portals, we can serve the end customer much better in the process.
No, definitely. Yeah, and that's what we do and do together. And especially it's cool that we all both have this manufacturing focus. There are a lot of manufacturing companies in the world, but still there is a huge potential to get them more automated or more efficient, or in the end help their B2B buyers to succeed. Because that is maybe a question I also have is, let's say, we see a lot of manufacturers already making that step, right, to go online. And as you mentioned, also there were some early adopters in the 2000s that tried to build stuff themselves, right? And some of them succeeded, some of them maybe evolved into products like Sana is, and some failed. But in the end, there is still a group of companies that is not started, or they tried, but they didn't continue yet. But why should manufacturers, let's say, from your opinion, invest in 2023 in a new e-commerce solution, or to start it, or to invest more? What is your take on that?
Yeah, I would mention we still see customers that have their homepage with their products, but it's no e-commerce behind it. It's just maybe
catalog.
We have this kind of categories. We do these things. Someone had come a little bit further. They took the product catalog and digitize it and put it on the homepage. Yeah. But they still don't have an order process. Or we have some customers that you can order it, but what's happening is actually sending a mail to the order department. So I think we have a lot to do there, still to do with customer to actually integrate it with the ERP system.
Yeah.
And for example, in the B2B, it's very important that we have customer prices. Yeah. So when you log in, you see your prices, your rebate, and the actual inventory and current order status and way and historical orders, and you get some more insight in the B2B that you maybe don't have in the B2C demands, for example. Yeah. And why usually invest if you don't exist on the internet in the future? People will not find you, because the way the purchase behavior is that you Google things, or in the future AI will suggest things for you, and you need to be there with your products, with your functionality, and you must sell online. You can't rely on go to the fair or call customer, or they should call you. You need to be online to be visible.
Yeah, I totally agree. And maybe a side question is, why do you think that there are still customers then that they only have a homepage or only have a couple of products and didn't go to an online complete solution yet, let's say? So what could be the hurdles, or what are the hurdles that you see at the customers that they are struggling with?
Yeah, I talked with a customer a couple of weeks ago, and they say, no, we can't take our products to the homepage. This is complicated. We need a sales guy to explain to the customer how it works. And that is something you need to work with when you go to do online. You can't just take your product catalog and put it on your homepage. You need actually to have advisory service. For example, if you sell pumps, and pipes for that, and you need to configure that solution, you maybe should ask the customer, which kind of pump do you need? What is your need? Well, yeah, I should pump 200 liter hours or whatever figures you need to ask for. Mm-hmm. And then the system or the homepage should advise, well, look into these pumps. This is something that fits your needs. And when you have selected that pump, then you need to select your pipes. And if you have hundreds of dimensions of pipes, it should just show that one that fits just this pump. And we see e-commerce customer that advise their customer with insights and help them and guide them through the purchase process. Then it become much easier. But you need to invest in that. And I think AI can help you in the future. You can have sales guys that is artificial. Mm-hmm. And help the customers to select the right products. But of course, if you don't just take a product and put it on a homepage, they will not sell by themselves. You need to have some helping system to advise.
Correct. Yeah, I think that is clearly described. Let's say that one of the main hurdles is that a traditional or physical process needs to bring to the digital world. And that is hard and sometimes also very complex. And you need to reinvent more or less how the company is doing business, and that's sometimes, putting companies into like a stall or saying, that's a scary move. But of course, with if you want to bridge that gap, we have of course the solutions in place, like Sana, that you can easily start. Right, it's in that sense. Also the SaaS solution and low investment, something to try. And we bring already a lot of that complexity to online. And but still, it will require work. Like always, it's not something that goes 100% automatically. You need to think how I'm going to sell and how I'm going to motivate my internal sales departments to work together with me to move the sales process to digital. So that's definitely the challenges we have talked more often about in this podcast. So, but that's great to hear this from you as well.
Yeah, and you can integrate videos and things like that as well in your e-commerce platform that advise customer to select the right products.
Okay. And how important is it then to think ERP first when implementing a B2B e-commerce solution, and what to take in consideration when doing so?
I think ERP should be master for all item data. When we talk about inventory, prices, rebates, the item number, because mostly you have the purchase in the ERP systems, and you have also connection with your vendors and information from them that you will get through the ERP. Then, of course, in the e-commerce platform, you need to enrich it with more selling text, videos, brochures, pictures, and attributes maybe, and everything that help the end customer to select the right kind of products. But I think the whole chain, from information from the vendor to the ERP system to the front end, should be combined, and this logistic need to be in place. If you just put your item and prices on the e-commerce platform, then you don't have the rest of the logistic flow. And maybe also have some third-party logistics that you need to integrate through EGI or something like that. Or maybe you have a drop shipment from your vendors. You don't even have it in your own stores. And you can build a lot of flows in your ERP system that make it more efficient for the end user as well.
No, definitely. And And of course, I think you have seen many ERP implementations and also migrations from on-premise to cloud, let's say. So, and with Sana, we sometimes take also maybe a little bit different approach. We always say, okay, if you are migrating your ERP or if you are implementing a new ERP, sometimes we just advise also to wait for that, because with that process, a lot of optimizations happen, right? Which you do not have to solve when going online. And so sometimes we rather take, let's say, of course, they can start already with filling in content and so on, preparing that homepage, but bringing that connection to life that we are, that is single source of truth is really well organized, because we see companies succeed when they embrace this as well, and that they have, let's say, a good implemented ERP system. And nowadays that can also done more and more by just using the standard, right? In the past, we were always customizing a lot, both on the ERP side and on Sana as well. But now, when solutions are more cloud and SaaS based, everything is more, pushed towards the standard. So that makes these implementations, I think, more overseeable and in the end easier and quicker to implement.
Yeah, it's not longer a technical project, because
correct,
in the SaaS world, it's already deployed. You actually just need to sign up, and maybe connecting the two systems takes 20 minutes, something like that, and then you're up and running. It's more
configuration,
the right configuration, exactly,
and thinking about the processes most of the time, just making the transformation to physical to digital, or making sure that that you get the maximum out of your tool, like you shared before. All right. Looking at failures, so what are the most, let's say, common failures when implementing a new B2B e-commerce solution, or what can go wrong in this journey? You have seen a lot of projects.
Yeah, I was at Microsoft head office last day, and there was a customer talking about how they selected solutions for them. Mm-hmm. And he said, we don't select the best of breed, instead we select best of platform. Mm-hmm. And I think that is what Microsoft wants. They want to deliver the best platform for a customer. Mm-hmm. So it's actually not anymore just selecting an ERP system. It's actually selecting a platform with, when you're in the ERP system, have your sales transactions, you have CRM for customer relation, you have your e-commerce for the front end, and maybe you have your service in the back end when handling all your service requests. And all this together must work seamless. So selecting best of breed solution, that should, for example, be you have one customer data in your ERP system, you have one customer data in your e-commerce platform, you have one customer identity in the CRM system and in the service desk system, and you don't get the holistic view over your customer sales. So that is the benefit of selecting a platform first, and see that everything works seamless together. And tomorrow's companies will be data driven, and if you have all data combined and in one system, it will help you to give you some insights in your sales, in your customer, in your products, in your whole business, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is also what we see in investigations. We do market research, or also research at our own customer base. The amount of time, and we have shared that also more often in this podcast, but the amount of time that customers are spending time and during implementation to connect all those silos of information, synchronizing it, bringing the data together. Yeah, that's maybe a waste of time if you can. Yeah, you can find more or better optimization if you select. For example, better architecture of your system landscape. Indeed. What about the quality in general of product and price information? What have you seen there in the world of ERP, all these ERP implementations that you have done? We see a lot of customers struggling with with data issues in general, right? If you're having a system, if it's CRM or ERP, doesn't really matter as long as you have humans, entering things manually. At some point in time or pretty quickly, sometimes it gets a little bit messy. But yeah, what can you do about that? Or is there something you've seen that can help companies to improve the quality of the data?
Yeah, it's very important to have a good quality of your data. Item information, for example, we have some barcodes, EON codes.
Yeah.
Some vendors reuse the same code when they exchange the products for the next year, and that can mix up it very, very much.
Yeah.
So I've seen other things that we import a lot of data from a vendor.
Yeah.
And if you don't map it in correct way, we can have, for example, currency. If the information lacks and you post a wrong currency in the e-commerce platform, it can be a differential with 10 times more cheap or expensive because you mix up Swedish crown and euros. So, of course, you should have good quality in your data. And sometimes you get it from the vendor and you need to do the quality check.
Yeah.
But I will also say in the B2B, some sales organization has made the price and rebate structure a little bit too complex.
Yeah.
They actually get a lot of work to what do you call it? They have a lot of work to maintain all these prices or rebates.
Yeah.
They have a special price list for each customer or rebates for each customer. And they need to think it a little bit more. They have a price structure, different price list for different currency, maybe for some 3-4 different customer groups, have 5 rebate levels or something like that. But don't overdo it, because you got a lot of maintenance work if you have too complex price and rebate structure.
Yeah, no, I understand. That is also what we see a lot. And of course, Sana can handle a lot of this complexity, right? That is not an issue. But I think in general, it's more about the transformation from physical to digital. Is that, or it was just by nature of the growth of the company, right? They were building on top, and then pricing structures can get really complicated. And sometimes it's a living organism, so you need to, and like with software, you need to re-architecture or refactor things over time. And that's also an advice we are giving when doing implementations, and we see something like that, because although we can handle a lot of complexity, I think it should be understandable for the people. And so that's a great tip. Thanks for that. So working on that data quality is always a good thing. If you want to grow, let's say, so from starting small to a little bit bigger, if you take, let's say, manufacturing or wholesale e-commerce store, so what would be your advice be, let's say, so how can you scope something to start with small and maybe grow further along with the journey? What is something that you have seen?
Yeah. We try to start small and don't have too big project, because if we should implement a new ERP system, a new e-commerce platform, maybe you should have a CRM system as well. Don't do it in one big bang. Try it, see what is the most valuable functionality you need. Of course, the ERP system need to be in place. Do that first, see that the finance works. Maybe you already have an e-commerce platform that you should exchange. Let it be in phase 2, that you exchange it and integrate it to your ERP system. CRM system maybe could be in the 3rd phase. But take so much standard adopt the functionality you have in the system. Don't look so much what you did in the past and do the same thing in the new system, because you will miss a lot of new functional features that are available in the new system. Of course, it's always a challenge to see what is the real demands and what is historical demands and adopt it in a new platform. But you need to drop something you have done in the past to achieve something new in the future. Yeah. And you need to change it.
Yes. No, understand. Yeah, that is, I think, a very a good thing to do. It sounds sometimes so easy, but it is not always the case, right? That is, can still be a hard challenge.
Yeah, and if you have some customer in the manufacturing industry that doesn't have been in e-commerce earlier, start small. Start with your spare parts, something that is very high volume, very easy to implement. Don't take your whole product range if it doesn't need for that. Maybe give some discount to customer to start ordering in the e-commerce platform instead of calling you. Give some benefits to the customer to change their behaviors. So things like that is something you need to work with to change your customers' behaviors.
We have, let's say, a little bit of new concept is that we asking a question from the previous guest, and from the previous guest, we had a question. Let's say, can you give an example of a B2B product or service that would be challenging to sell online? Right? We talked a lot about that transition today, but maybe there are also, of course, things that would be still very hard. What is your take on that?
If you have customer-made products or it's configurable, you need to structure it in a way that you can order it online. And for example, we have a vendor that are selling elevators. Yeah. And elevators can be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 floors. You can have 1 or 2 doors on every floors. You can have different kind of fabrics or glass or steel or whatever on each floors. And you need to have a configurator and a CPQ to help the customer to actually order that kind of products. So that's a challenge, but it's doable. But if you ask the customer, hey, what kind of his do you want, and make a draw for everyone, then you can't fit it in an e-commerce platform. Then you need to work in another way. But if you modelize your solution, hey, for example, when you buy a car, there are some standard models, but you also can configure them, have different colors, different leathers, and that way. And you need to think in this way and have a strategy how you should modelize your products. Then you can go in an e-commerce solution for that. Yeah,
no, true. Finding that structured model, or and yes, with CPQ, configure, price, quote. That is also solutions we interact or integrate with that can solve this partly, and I think some even can go pretty far. Indeed, elevator configurators and that kind of stuff is doable, but it is a big challenge. I definitely agree with you. But if it is more like some kind of a design or a sketch or something, or maybe more on the really custom build or so, then there is always this human interaction that is supplying that design or something. And yes, maybe the process of following the production or the fulfillment of an order, that can be digitalized, but getting that order in, that at some point in time it still needs to be drawn or created. And you can think of, for example, if you want to create a piece of art or something, or if you want to make a very special, if you talk more in B2B, if you want to build a special one of a kind or one time piece to fit in something, right? You have sometimes this kind of maybe a pipe that is so special to fit in an old factory, and it is not, it's not configurable, it's not purchasable. It's just you need to draw it and then say, if you can make it more or less like this, it will fit. Yeah, these things are still there's still a challenge to automate that. But maybe there is a future that will bring us there. Yeah, then maybe the last question from me to you is, what would be? Do you have a question for our next guest?
Yeah, I see. Your homepage are not the landing page anymore. You need to be in social media and attract people to go to your homepage. But what do you see will change now when Google introduce AI like Bard or Microsoft have ChatGPT involved in Bing? How will this change the purchase behavior when an AI solution will? How will this change when an AI solution will give you an answer for your needs in the e-commerce process?
Yeah, and how can you influence that? That's an interesting question. I like it. Per. And yeah, definitely. Maybe a small side step, but we are hosting one of our tech talks. That is a monthly talk we do with the audience on LinkedIn Live, and we are going to talk. I think next one is about AI. So that's definitely, or it will be already recorded when we are sharing this one, so that you can watch the recording back, or you can still join by looking at my profile on LinkedIn and subscribe for the event. So Per, thank you very much. It's like the old days. It was great to have a chat with you. And Cosmo is a great partner of Sana. We are already working together for many, many years. Enjoy the snow in Sweden, and see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Per.